Hello friends, this is Coldrun. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. Now, before we dive into the next role quest, I wanted to point out something that I just had totally missed before. I was assuming that these role quests were like the previous ones, where they were like level 80, 82, 84, 86, or maybe like 80, 83, 85, 88, 90 or something. But no, these are 85, 86, presumably 87, 80, 89, or something like that. Yeah, it's an interesting new way to do it. I totally missed that. Anyway, Artoirel. Only justice, only vengeance. And thank you to Azomagia for pointing out that these are apparently, these quest names are apparently lyrics from the Heavensward music. And I'll have to go back and take a look at those lyrics because I don't know, like when I hear the Heavensward theme, I hear like and I never heard the music, the lyrics before. So anyway, Artoirel, Kakushu, excellent timing as ever. Deacon CLEM has just sent word that Bishop Vartinoix will see us now, by which I mean right this instant. 'Tis extremely short notice, but I know, but it would not do to miss the opportunity to learn how he and Vaindreau may be connected. Not wishing to keep his grace waiting, Lord Aymeric is already on his way to St. Raymonaude's Cathedral. Come, let us hurry there ourselves. Yeah, do let's. Glad he was able to clear out his schedule for us. So we're here in St. Raymonaude's. Aymeric. Ah, Kakushu, full glad am I that you could join us. Artoirel. It seems his grace has yet to arrive. And CLEM. My lords, I am so sorry. I informed his grace that you were making your way hither, but shortly before you arrived, he recalled that he had urgent business and had to leave the cathedral at once. He cannot have yet gone far, though, so if you wish to search for him in the hopes you can still steal a moment of his time. Aymeric. To grant us an audience only to depart with such haste. What business could be so pressing? New sighting of the blasphemy, I'm guessing? They'd be unrelated, but that seems likely at least. Alright, we're searching for Bishop Vartinoix. Oh, he did not get far at all. Artoirel. I found his grace, Kakushu. So you have. Vartinoix. Well, that even the savior of Ishgard should be here. You sound nervous. Artoirel. Your grace. Perhaps 'tis simply our misunderstanding, but we were under the impression you had granted us an audience. Yeah, why are you being a sussy baka, as they say? I knew I shouldn't have trusted that mustache. Vartinoix. Lord Speaker, rest assured, I was just about to return to the cathedral. You were on the run. Aymeric. There is no need, your grace. This will not take long. As you may have heard, we are investigating a young man named Vaindreau. Is he known to you? No, Vartinoix. No, I cannot say he is. With the exception of the former Archimandrite, I am sure I knew no one by that name. Archimandrite must have been a rank within the Heavensward. But mine and the Archbishop's are known to many, yes? Perhaps the youth took inspiration from public services over which we presided. Goodly soul that he is, full glad am I that his faith was of comfort to him in sickness, and I pray alone that he will soon be found in good health. Yes. Vartinoix. Now then, if there was nothing else, I shall return to my duties forthwith post-haste. Oh shit, you're getting echoed, good sir. The Lalafell lie detection device is on to you. So we got a corpse. Bishop Vartinoix in the background. Vartinoix. Fear not, your eminence. I shall carry on your legacy. Whose dead is that? Whose body is that? Earnest clergyman. We have completed the preparations as per your instructions, but are you certain this will work? Vartinoix. It will, it must. Lord Aymeric spoke the truth when he revealed the Archbishop sought primal powers to strengthen the people's faith. So this isn't that far back. This is post-Heaven's Word, but that's about it. Wait. Is that His Eminence? Is that... Because I'm seeing that sword. That looks like the sword of Thordan. Is this... Did he revert to a younger self after he died? Or is this someone else? I might be totally misunderstanding this, but the fact that they're calling him His Eminence and he has that sword next to him makes me think that that's the Archbishop, or the former, in life he was the Archbishop. Vartinoix, I could not bring myself to believe it, not at first, but in the course of cataloguing His Eminence's personal articles, I came upon his journal. Therein he had written that, through abundant ether and fervent prayer, it is possible to make gods of men. All the power we require lies in this place, this Aziz law, by channeling the essential elements into the soulless flesh and sword we found. We shall summon forth King Thordan and his knights 12, and by his blessing Ishgard shall be restored to its former glory. Wait, so he was trying to resummon Thordan? That well seems pretty dry at this point. I don't think your faith is strong enough. You trying to wake him up? So you're drawing the ether from the body and from the sword. Having some performance issues. Vartinoix. What is this? It's just an ordinary man, scarcely changed from before. So this isn't some youngified version of Thordan. This is just some person. Is this Vaindreau then? This has got to be Vaindreau, the body of Vaindreau that they were using. I don't know if it's the body, but it's just at least an unconscious... Here's my guess. I think it's an unconscious Vaindreau that they're trying to turn into like a Thordan reincarnation to regain their churchly power. Oh, he's not even dead. He's just waking up. Does he know what he's doing here? Was he a willing experiment? So he's got the robe on. He's got his robe and wizard hat on. No wizard hat. Just the robe. Stumbling along. Cloned Elizin. His Eminence. I must protect... A cloned Elizin. A cloned Elizin. Vartinoix. No, this isn't right. Confound it. I thought for a second he might mean, no, this isn't morally right, but no, he's just like, no, the experiment's wrong. Let's fix it. Confound it. Perhaps I overlooked something. I must return to the Holy See and review the journal. Nervous Inquisitor. Your Grace, what shall we do with this thing? Vartinoix. Leave it. 'Tis a failure without use or value. You're a failure without use or value. The denizens of this place will deal with it soon enough. So they cloned an Elizin. Is this a clone of just a random Elizin, or is it a clone of Vaindreau, or is it a clone? Maybe it's a clone. I mean, it's got to be a clone of the original Vaindreau, not a son or anything like that, not a grandson or anything like that. It's got to be a clone of the knight, who's old now. Aymeric. Kakushu, are you well? Were you perchance granted a vision of the past? Yeah, you know what's up. An attempted summoning of King Thordan and his Knights 12. You got caught red-handed. Aymeric. Your Grace, you should know full well that summoning is strictly forbidden. You will accompany us to the congregation and explain yourself. I don't think you will. Is he about to run? Doesn't look that fast. Oh shit, is he about to take power or something? Vartinoix. I have dedicated my life to the church, conducted my affairs in accordance with scripture. Oh shit, you took it all from us, tore down everything that defined us. Yeah, he's giving the same speech the other guy gave, basically. You cannot know. You're just going to blaspheme up. Feels to have your existence rejected, forsaken by your community, denied by your society. Well, I deny you and this justice. Yeah, I deny Nishgard where the church has no place. I refuse to accept it. Do you hear me? I refuse to accept it in blasphemy time. Yeah, it's turning into another of those, he doesn't even get a good transformation. He just becomes a generic red and black one. Oh, shit. One swing. Clem, your Grace, no. Oh, splat, right. That's right. They don't even leave, they don't leave ether behind. They don't leave shit behind. Artoirel, that it should come to violence yet again. Would that your hand had not been forced, my lord. Yeah, it was forced, though. Artoirel, Deacon Clem should not be alone at this time. I shall remain with him while tending to the aftermath. Yeah, you don't want him to turn too. He really looked up to Vartinoix, it sounds like. When things have settled, I will return to the congregation. Pray go on ahead and get some rest. Nod, nod. So we're back in the strategy room here. Aymeric, how fares the deacon? Artoirel, well enough given the circumstances. Though understandably shaken, he is more determined than ever to help his fellows. Good. Aymeric, truly he is possessed of a stout heart, yes, seriously. But to think that even a member of the Synod could succumb to despair and turn. The crisis gripping the church is far graver than I had imagined. In pushing for such an abrupt separation of religion and state, we may have exacerbated the growing divide between the clergy and general populace. Still, it seems like the right thing to do. I don't think it was the separation that caused that. I think it was, all the corruption that made you do the separation that caused it. Artoirel, Kukushu, will you recount in full that which you witnessed in your vision? What's that, lassie? They're trying to summon Thordan and his Knights 12 down the well. That he should seek to use one of Aleg's unholy abominations to create a primal. Yet that which manifested was not like the being you fought, but rather retained the form of a man, one driven by the desire to protect the Archbishop. That which manifested retained the form of a man. So did they succeed in summoning a sort of like weak little crap primal, and that was just, it stayed in the form of the Elezen? Aymeric, we may safely assume the Archbishop did not have sufficient ether. Bereft of Nidhogg's eye, the sword Ascalon no longer has such power. Nor does that of the Warring Triad remain to be harvested thanks to your valorous intervention. This has got to be something that only appears if you've completed the Warring Triad quests, right? I wonder if the Warring Triad quests are mentioned at all if you haven't done them. Artoirel, but if the summoning failed, then how did the clone come to possess life? And what purpose drives it? Aymeric, lack of ether notwithstanding, the necessary components were present for a summoning. Yes, so it was like a crap little dink summoning. Perhaps the ritual itself was a success, and the vessel, though imperfect, arose as a champion of the Archbishop. Yet, how did he come to be in the Central Highlands? Artoirel, you believe that this clone and the man who became the blasphemy are one and the same? Yeah, I do. I do. Aymeric, nay, I merely speculate. Yeah, I believe so. Yet considering what we know of the clone and Vaindreau, it would seem a likely possibility. How did they know it was a clone? I knew it was a clone because the text bubble said Elysian clone, but what did Kakushu see in her vision, in her echo vision, that made her think it was a clone? Aymeric, whatever the truth may be, it will not elude us forever. But first I must lay some groundwork for the next phase of our investigation. Gods permitting, I will have news to share ere long, so pray look in on us when you can. Absolutely, and I can right now. Bup, 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 bup. Wills unending, faith unbending. Artoirel has the identity of the blasphemy on his mind. Kakushu, you are ever a sight for sore eyes. I'm no Aymeric, but thank you. Aymeric, ill tidings, my friends. I dispatched the Temple Knights to find the clergyman who aided in Bishop Vartinoix' summoning attempt. Regrettably, when confronted, all turned and had to be put down. At least you're getting practiced at this. Artoirel, without their accounts, then how then to ascertain that the clone and Vaindreau are the same individual? Aymeric, maintaining the assumption that they are, perhaps we should instead consider how Vaindreau may have found his way to Kurthus. According to Kakushu's vision, he was abandoned in Oz's Law, but what did he do afterwards? That's a good question. Can't imagine Sid would have given him a ride on the mana skip or whatever that was. Artoirel, there is but one way to ascertain the truth. We follow his trail. I shall go and search for his clone in Oz's Law. If he is still there, then we are dealing with a different individual. Aymeric, a splendid idea. We leave the floating continent in your capable hands. I'm not going? Okay. I'm fine with that. Oz's Law was not one of my favorite zones. It was green and pukey. Aymeric. Meanwhile, Kakushu and I shall retrace Vaindreau's steps whence he first appeared. Upon being found in the Central Highlands, he was taken to Camp Dragonhead. Let us begin by making inquiries there. Ba-da-da. Explorations around Camp Dragonhead. What do we have? Theobalin. Investigating the stranger we found, are you? I wasn't involved myself, so I can't tell you much about the fellow. But in case it's of interest, earlier the same day, I caught sight of an airship flying dangerously low. It soon disappeared into the brewing snowstorm, looking none too steady. Your exchange with Theobalin has taught you about an airship flying low. We're doing a little mystery solving right now. I like it. Ninny. Nin, probably. Well now, if it isn't the late Lord Harshafont's dear friend, is there something you require? You better have said that name with respect. Ah yes, the mystery man. I was among those who tended him. He was not attired for the snow, much less the snowstorm in which he had been caught, and he was suffering from frostbite. When people are extremely cold, they may mistakenly feel that they are warm and disrobe. That might explain his state of undress. Vaindreau's state when he was found, okay. So there was a low-flying airship, so he was nearly naked, or at least in just the robe we saw him in initially. Edwin. Oh, no, that's a totally different quest. The actual quest is in this building, presumably. Yale. Ah, 'tis ever an honor to receive you. What brings you to our humble camp this morn? An injured man who was found out in the wilds. Yeah, I know the one. I was with the patrol that chanced into him north of here, at Providence Point. He was unconscious in a bad way, and we hurriedly bore him back to the camp. After doing what we could for him, we sent him down to the city. So, where Vaindreau was found. So he was found at Providence Point. Okay, maybe that's where we're going next. Find some debris or more evidence, maybe? Aymeric. Ah, there you are. Were you able to learn aught of interest? Yes, note concerning where Vaindreau was found. Okay. A mysterious man collapsed after an airship was seen flying low. Yes, the accounts I heard are consistent with yours. I, for one, am curious about the fate of this unknown airship. To that end, I have arranged a pair of black chocobos for us, the more efficiently to scour the area. We shall continue our search to Providence Point, where Vaindreau is said to have been found. Okay, the mystery continues. So is this going to be like one of those... I don't know, it's weird that it's not just meet me at Providence Point. What do you got, friend? That's a crashed airship, all right. A small one, but it's like one of those mana skiffs. Or whatever those are. There's the blasphemy. It was blending in. Oh, look at that pretty little thing. By the Fury, it's the blasphemy. That's a gorgeous color and everything. I really like the design on the blasphemy. So he got out of there, crashed. Clondell is in his eminence, must protect his eminence. So that explains at least what the fact that we think he's the cloned version of the Heavensward Knight explains why he's all about protecting his eminence. That's his core. And so maybe he turned into the blasphemy when he found out what actually happened to his eminence. His only purpose was destroyed. Loverick. Ah, you're finally awake. Alone be praised. How are you feeling? Strong enough to speak? Can you tell me your name? Yeah, this is where the Vaindreau thing comes in, I guess. My name is Clondell is indifferent. No, Charibert, or was it Velgine, Polycrane? So he's like a conglomeration of them? So many names swirling in my mind and voices that reject them. Is there none they will accept? Loverick, are you all right? Vaindreau. My name is Vaindreau. Was that scene of the fight before something that was from Heavensward, or is something just from his past that we haven't seen before? Loverick. Well now, that's the same as our infirmary. I dare say fate has guided you to us. So, Vaindreau, if you're feeling up to a little conversation, can you tell me about yourself? Anything else you remember? Anything at all? Proud son of Hastzamal, nay, a servant of Halone, who lives for the rush of battle, pleasure, and inflicting pain, the attentions of maidens to fight beside my brother in arms. A low-born runt whose every effort went unrewarded, whose very name disqualified him from ever leading the Temple Knights, but his eminence raised me up. granted me a place at his side. From that day forth I pledged my sword to his service, pledged my very being, my life to be offered up in defense of his. And just as he's starting out on this new path of his as a new clone, he finds out that it's too late. He's already fucked. Oh, here we go. I am a knight of the Heaven's Ward, sworn to protect and serve the Archbishop. You're going to break the news, aren't you? Oh, no. Loverick. Oh, you're a knight. Forgive me if that sounded rude, but I had no idea. And while I realize your memories may be a bit muddled, I'm afraid I must inform you that the Heaven's Ward have not been seen in quite some time and are presumed dead. And the Archbishop, well, he is most certainly no longer of this world. Yep, there we go. There it is. But the important thing is you're safe now, and we'll help you get back on your feet. Speaking of which, let me bring you some food and water. You must be absolutely famished for souls. No, I guess it's not really souls. It's not like the blasphemies are trying to eat everyone's soul. They're just kind of mindless, I think, aren't they? Mindless etheric zombies. Vaindreau, the Archbishop dead? No, this cannot be. How can he still be alive when he's not? I must find him. I also wonder if the events of Endwalker are part of why the summoning didn't really work that well. Just because the ether is so depleted at this point. Amric, Kukushu. Oh, well, hello. Just a straight-up ice dragon. Crystalline, flowery. God, I love the whorls and the design here. Profane Fafnir. For the glory of King Thordan. I don't think Thordan would want his loyal protector to be a dragon, but I guess that's why you're a blasphemy. You've become a version of everything that goes against your faith. Amric, another vision, I take it. You take it correctly. Let us make for Ishgard. I expect that Lord Artois will soon return soon, if he has not already, and we should both be glad to hear your tale. Whew, okay. Artois, I'm also surprised the dragon didn't attack us, or the blasphemy didn't attack us, but it hasn't really attacked. It's just circled and looked, right? Ah, Kukushu, I pray your search was more productive than mine own. It was indeed. It was super productive. We saw the old Faff man himself. Amric, everyone is here. Excellent. So, were you able to find our clone in Anceslas? Artois, nay, naught but the discarded Ascalon remained. How fared you with your own efforts in the Central Highlands? Amric, in the course of retracing Vaindreau's steps, we came upon the wreck of the Soleil. I suspect he found the vessel abandoned in Anceslas. Ah, okay, well that explains it. So the Soleil, was the Soleil the ship that Thordan used to get there? He tried to use it to return to Ishgard. Artois, but he crashed en route and he was subsequently rescued by a patrol from Camp Dragonhead. Nod. Amric, so it would seem. And the Archbishop's airship was not the only thing we found. Profane Fafnir was there too. The creature chose to flee, but not before Kukushu had a vision of Vaindreau's past. Go on, my friend. Share with us what you witnessed. Artois, All the pieces fit, and it is as you surmised, my lord. Vaindreau and the clone are one and the same, and in his despair he turned it into the blasphemy. Yet the confusion he exhibited when asked his name, 'tis as if he wasn't sure of his own identity. That's true. I mean, it seems like he was just some vague amalgamation of, like, the idea of the Heaven's Word and leaning towards one of them, but not, like, set on it 100%. Aymeric. According to the Scions, primals retain the memories of their previous incarnations. Primals retain the memories of their previous incarnations. Right. So, because they're saying that, okay. So, they were trying to turn him into a primal, not of Vaindreau, but of all the Knights of the Round. That's why he had all their memories, like, kind of built into him. And that's why... But he leaned towards Vaindreau because that was who his... Like, Vaindreau was, like, the Ammon to... Like, to the Knights of the Round as... He was Ammon to the Knights of the Rounds. God, I can't remember. Fandaniel. From this, it may be assumed that the clone harbors the memories of those who became King Thordan and his Knights 12. Yes. Yep. Though he struggled to reconcile these conflicting memories, he managed to settle on the name Vaindreau. The voices within were clearly in agreement when facing Kakushu, the mere sight of whom drove the blasphemy to flee. Yeah, I'm thinking of just Thordan's raw terror as he saw me before he died. Like, what are you? Above all, they share in the desire to protect the Archbishop. This desire was seared into Vaindreau's very being, and when he learned that he no longer had a purpose... Yeah. The Heavens Ward took up arms against us and Ishgard. By their hand were we robbed of one of our finest knights and a dear friend. Even so, I would not wish such a terrible fate upon them. The selfsame fate inflicted upon many clergymen, and the fate I fear ordinary citizens will succumb to if we fail to act. Yeah, this is... It's an individual struggle for the clone, but it's also a very similar struggle, the idea of just disintegrating and just collapsing without your purpose. Like, it's an embodiment of everything that Ishgard's going through, both the clergy and the laymen. Aymeric. The people will not soon forget the betrayal of our church's leadership, nor should they. But absent the comfort and stability once afforded to them by the institution, many have become lost and are all too vulnerable to despair. The people don't have to forget, but they need to move forward. The church can still be a source of comfort, but things need to change. I think I'm going to go with this latter one. The church really can still be a place of comfort, like with people like Clem leading it. Does he disagree? No. Okay. Aymeric. I thought as much myself, my friend, but to hear you say it as well. Indeed, when the ground upon which we stand crumbles, we must find the strength to move forward, even should it cause us pain to do so. That's the spirit. Lord Artoirel, at the next House session, I shall call for an ecumenical council to be held. Is that like Second Vatican, like that sort of thing? Artoirel, my lord, such a gathering is reserved for... Oh, you intend for the church to codify new doctrine. I mean, is it up to you? Aymeric, since the separation of religion and state, we have refrained from interfering in church affairs, but if the church is to remain a part of Ishgardian society and continue serving the people, it must reconsider its role and formally address recent revelations. So he's not saying this is the rules of it, he's just saying you got to address this. That's fair. I would call for this council not as the Lord's Speaker, but as a humble adherent of the faith. Long had I considered whether such measures were necessary, but lacked the courage to set them in motion. I now have it, thanks to you. Smile. Oh, yeah. Glad we were able to help. I shall tend to the necessary preparations at once. Among other things, we must reach out to those of the clergy who are amenable to reform. I ask for your patience in the meantime. Okay. Whew. Alright. And that's as far as I can go right now. Next is O Mighty Fury Guide Us to Victory. We're still a little ways away from that. And so with that, I'm going to call it for this session. Next time, I will not head back to the main story quest, at least not immediately. Instead, we will deal with the Little Ladies' Day event that came up. So I'll check that out next time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.